more of you are asking me some kind of the same question. The question is about how I experienced the painting, the work on the commissioned paintings, those house portraits, and my own work. And some of you even ask how I'm able to paint those house portraits, because these are subjects that I would never choose myself. And that's true. When I got more of these questions, I kept thinking on it, and I found the motivation for myself to paint these paintings. And there are some answers that I want to share with you. One of the first is that I'm really happy that there are too much subjects for me to paint, as you know what I mean. So indeed, I have my own work. These are my own subjects that just come spontaneously to me. And I have to choose in all those subjects that clients choose for me, actually for themselves. And I'm able to paint this. Sometimes there is a subject that I have to refuse. Then I can explain them that it's a lovely house. It's a lovely house to live in. Even a beautiful house on photographs, but in a painting it would be really boring. But this only happens once a year, I guess. For me, it's good to feel that there is too much to paint. So sometimes it's just labor, you know. You have to make the paintings for a client. And while you're doing this, you are really looking forward to get on with the painting, your own work, which is waiting for you. I prefer this above those days that you are really asking yourself, well, what shall we paint? For me, that's some kind of boring vacuum that I don't want to get in, as you know what I mean. But just labor as a painter, sometimes it's here, it's in my studio. I'm just alone, I'm free, and I can make this painting how I want to make it, and I know that when it's done I will deliver it, and the people will be so happy. It's so nice to see their faces when you deliver a painting, because it's just an emotion. It's not something that I needed. You don't repair something in their house because it was well, you know, it wasn't needed. It was something that came out of love or desire or something, and that's what you see on the faces. It's really, really lovely. I made around 200 or more paintings for animation series. I painted with a team of 8 painters. Well, we made about 2,000 background paintings for American TV series, and I've done this for 2 years, and of course I had to paint subjects that I would never choose myself. Some subjects were really boring. Those conversations with close-ups, for example, in interiors and houses, and then you only have to paint a corner of a wall with a shadow on it, and a frame of a painting or something, or a frame around a doorway. But you can imagine that I learned so much from this job. I have been painting things that I would never expected myself to do. And that makes me think of one of the conversations I had yesterday with that life coach. As you know, we are shooting videos every month with a life coach who helped me a lot a few years ago. And that makes me think of one of those conversations I had yesterday with the life coach in Zee here in Holland. Some of you know we shoot videos every month with him. We do this on Sunday, and then every week we post a video on his channel. And yesterday he spoke about the self. The self. So he don't choose to speak in terms of myself or yourself or ourselves, but the self. And he consciously do this because he says that the self is unlimited. So as soon as you think you know who you are, you may be wrong because you are more. He says that that what you are is an unlimited, endless kind of source that is experiencing life, experiencing the world. And out of this source you learn yourself, you learn who you are. You meet yourself actually. But you need a whole life to try to know who you are, and then even you don't know it. So who am I to think that I know what kind of subjects I can paint? I just know it a little, but let's suppose that we are really unlimited, and then it's always nice to explore new grounds, new ways, and this is the way I look at this commissioned work. These are not the subjects I choose by myself. This is a way to look through others' eyes. And for me, when I make just the good paintings, it's fine. I don't have to paint the best painting every day. I'm learning. So sometimes I make a painting and I feel, well, this is the best painting. And sometimes I make paintings and they're just good. That's all right. It's still working behind the scenes, right? So nobody can see what I'm doing except you. And I am the one who chooses which kind of paintings are going outside to the galleries and to the clients. They have to be good enough. Well, for me, the painting is maybe done. I washed away the shoulder a little bit. It was too high, it was too small. And I will put it lower in the composition and make it a bit larger, the shoulder of the person in the front. And then I will cut off the right piece. The right part is not necessary. Actually, there is a building visible, and I don't know why. It doesn't tell anything, so I will cut this off. And then the instrument is not painted yet, actually. You see that there is appearing maybe an instrument, but you don't really see quite well what it is. And I received several questions about this instrument, the sousaphone. Some of you call it a tuba. So I want to tell a little bit more about this way of working on this instrument. Let's say that I can paint music instruments. I will do this the same way as I paint cars, houses. So then you are interested in the construction and you draw it. You study on it and then you can paint it. That's the way how I paint my house portraits and cityscapes as well. You create buildings like you build buildings as well. These series are quite different. I'm not painting houses or technical objects. I'm watching light, shadow, movement, mood, sound, and I find a rhythm in chaos. For me, maybe that's music, finding rhythm in chaos, finding melodies in chaos, finding rhythm in chaos. The approach in this painting is like that I'm searching and looking for a way to show it, and I have really to be patient, and then suddenly it appears. If I would paint a music instrument like I paint houses and cars in this painting, we would see two paintings in one composition. So you see sound, movement, light and dark, and you see a correctly painted music instrument. And this music instrument would definitely be a distracting part in this composition. I think you know what I mean. So I wait for the moment that this sousaphone, this music instrument, appears in the same way as the people appear. Actually, I don't need a music instrument, because the funny thing is that when you don't see the music instrument anymore, you just see people, but you see that the people are making music, although you don't see any music instrument. So maybe it's a shame that there is a music instrument just in front of the composition, but I like it that much because it's really, it cuts in this composition of all those dark people, and there is a bright light instrument. But I want to be patient. I want to wait till that moment that it appears in the same way as the people. So that's the reason why I sometimes put it upside down. And then you don't see an instrument anymore. You just see some kind of object, and then you see if it's too dark, too bright, or too flat. And maybe it needs more contrast, more light and dark to give it more depth. In that standing format painting of the marching band, that one that went to California, the same composition as the larger painting I'm doing here, there it really appeared in a good way. It was suddenly there. Maybe it needed just one or two traces, but then there was a music instrument. To me, this way of working is not the way we all work normally on a watercolor painting. It reminds me more on the way I used to work on those more experimental oil paintings I made several years ago. It's working in countless layers without actually a clear plan or a program. You find a way suddenly after countless layers, and then in the final layer you see suddenly, oh, I don't need blue. I only need purple, a little bit of red, here's some green, this is the focus point, this must be bright, and now the painting is done. Now it tells the story, it's strong. I don't have to touch it anymore. And then you get those paintings with an old skin, as you know what I mean. So you see the older layers underneath the final layer. These watercolor paintings look quite the same, although you don't see a skin, you still see the paper, because watercolor paint is too thin for that. But when you are really close to the painting, you see the older layers as well, because all the layers are transparent, of course. And the paper is so strong, this Arches paper is so thick, so strong, that you really can put layers over and over again and even wash some layers away. So I think for those who are waiting until I paint this music instrument, some of you will send me questions about this. I hope you know what I mean. So I can paint it, but I don't do it. I don't want to touch this instrument too much, because I don't want to have two paintings in one. It must appear in the same way as the sound, the movement in the light, the mood appears. I've been working 2 days this week because of the Christmas time, of course. But I like to work at holiday time too. You can feel more free and just experiment on the things that you do on your own for yourself. Next week I will work a few days as well. I will take a few days off with the family, of course, but I will work 3 days next week, and then starting from the week after next week I will start some commissioned work. But it's lovely to make beautiful things, also in the holiday time. And probably this will be the last video of 2023, I guess. I don't like to dwell on a moment, but maybe it's strange too to say nothing about this year, because it was a special year. 2023 was my celebration year because I have been an artist for 25 years now. And I had this exhibition in March, a big exposition, and I was at the Dutch TV in February. I launched my first podcast. Amazing things this year, and I decided to put a weekly video on my channel, like a diary. I can tell you that I started with a few hundred subscribers. At the end of the year, more than 22,000 people are following this channel. I don't know how much that is. I don't know if it's a lot or not, but I can tell you that I can't imagine 22,000 people in this studio. And I can tell you that sharing is so great. It's so great to work on your own and to meet people everywhere who do something like that. Maybe not as an artist, but as a writer, as a musician. Maybe not in music and art, but something else. And it's so great to share and to speak about what we really love. And so again, I tell you this every week, but it's so lovely to read your comments, your emails, and to see what you do. And well, let's thank you again for that and for this year. And enjoy the weekend, have a good glass of wine, and then I will see you next week.